I will be representing the NPHC board for today.
Next up, how about Lindsay?
Hello, my name is Lindsay Stogner, and I am the current Panhellenic president, and I will be representing our Panhellenic community here today.
Diane?
Hi, everybody. I'm really sorry for the mishap if you can't see me, but my name is Sigma Lambda. I will be representing for the MGC Council today, and I'm a part of Sigma Omicron Epsilon Incorporated.
Okay. Ryan?
Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Hagwood. I am the IFC Vice President of Recruitment and Retention. I am also the President of Sigma Pi Fraternity here on campus.
Great. And then we also have a member of the orientation team here, Justice. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Justice. I'm a orientation assistant here with the Office of Student Transitions. I'm also a member of Epsilon Chi Nu Fraternity Incorporated, and I will be monitoring the Q&A and chat features throughout the session.
Great. So if you start to have questions during our session, go ahead and drop them in either the Q&A or the chat box, and to answer them. Actually, I'm going to ask sure our students to do the best to answer it. Here. So our community right now consists of about 2,400 undergraduate students, 37 individual organizations, and as each of our student panelists introduced themselves, they referenced a council that they're a part of. Each one of our 37 fraternities and sororities have membership in one of 4 Greek governing councils on campus, and you're going to learn a little bit more about them just shortly. Right now, we're about 11% of the undergraduate student population. We have been a little bit larger in the past. We've been a little bit smaller in the past. We think we're a great size for an institution like East Carolina, but we're also expecting to see some growth in the next few years. So looking forward to seeing how our community evolves. All of our organizations are national organizations, so we do not have any local fraternities or sororities. So every single one of our organizations provides you an opportunity to be connected with brothers and sisters at chapters across the country. When we talk about a social organization or a social fraternity and sorority, which is kind of a generic term, we really think about it with an opportunity to provide multiple things in one experience. So obviously the concept of friendship, we call it brotherhood or sisterhood, but that ability to build relationships with other students, with your peers. Really focusing on the areas of service and leadership. Our organizations have self-governing structures, they have leadership opportunities, they encourage their members to be involved on campus. But then there's a huge component of public service, community service, philanthropic fundraising that goes on in our organization. And then again, as national organizations and organizations that in some cases have as much as a 60+ year history on our campus, the ability to network, not just with your peers on campus, but with alumni. And there's can be alumni from chapters here or alumni from other chapters of the same organization across the country. These 5 things really set fraternities and sororities apart from other types of student organizations that are specific only to East Carolina University. As people ask, what are the benefits of membership? You know, I like to summarize it in 3 real specific areas: campus connections, the ability to join an organization that then expects you to go out and do things on campus, that expects you to represent the organization well, and gives you the opportunity to meet people that are involved in different things and help you navigate East Carolina University, which is a pretty big institution. It's the 3rd largest in the UNC system. It can seem like a big place, especially if you're coming from a smaller high school background. That's one of the things that's really beneficial to a fraternity or sorority experience. Academic success. Each of our organizations has expectations around membership in terms of you need a specific academic performance level coming out of high school or transferring into ECU to join, but you also need to maintain that. And beyond just maintaining it, our organizations stress academic success in the long term. They want you to graduate. They want you to be successful in the classroom. And then finally, leadership skills. One of the things that I think is the hallmark of the fraternity and sorority experience is that we expect our members to step up when there's work to be done, to learn from that experience, and then to turn around and provide that same experience for new members when they join and come after you. And certainly, I've got some great student leaders on the panel here who can speak to that as they get the opportunity to talk a little bit and share. We talk about the Greek community. We mentioned our 4 governing councils. Those are the Interfraternity Council, which is called IFC, the Multicultural Greek Council, or MGC, National Panhellenic Council, MPHC, or the Panhellenic Association. And at this point, I'm going to ask, as I've flipped through the slides, I'm going to ask our individual student panelists to talk a little bit about their respective councils and their experience.
All right, so these are all the IFC groups we have on campus. There are 16 as of this fall. We are welcoming Delta Tau Delta to campus. The average size is about 52 members. About half of these groups have housing available. So the requirement for you to join is a 275 cumulative unweighted out of high school, or if you're transferring in, you have 12 credits or more, it has to be a 25 cumulative unweighted. The average cost is about $500 per semester. Some are a little bit more than that. Some are a little bit less than that, but roughly around $500 is where you're going to be looking at. In terms of experience, I've gained a lot from Greek life. It's something I wasn't necessarily interested in when I first got to ECU, but I had a couple friends that were in it, and they basically explained the benefits to me, same stuff that John explained. And, ultimately, it's just made me a better person. I'm president of my fraternity now. Never thought that would happen in a million years, but here I am.
And then Ryan, here's your IFC Instagram.
Yeah, so this is the Instagram. Recruitment is definitely going to happen in the fall. We're still working out some dates and stuff with the school in terms of social distancing laws and what they're going to tell us we have to do. But if you follow that right there, you'll get everything you need in terms of how to register and when registration is open and things like that.
Okay.
Hey guys, so at ECU we have organizations that represent different ethnic and cultural backgrounds. So we currently have 4 active chapters, 2 fraternities and 2 sororities, but we definitely have more in the past. They range here and there. So the GPA requirement for most is a 2.5. Some require a 3.0, but at the college level you have to have a GPA of a 2.5. The price ranges from $100 to a few $100s. It all depends. It could be less than that or more. It just depends on which org that you want to join and how to meet. We all conduct recruitment differently. We have a process called intake, not recruitment. So they're definitely different when it comes to Panhellenic and IFC and stuff like that. That's actually about it. Oh, I apologize. One more thing I did want to mention was the CGI, which is a Cultural Greece Invitational that we host every year. And it basically showcases every organization and it lets you know the requirements that you need to join. And this is the ad for our Instagram, which gives a lot of our information on the page. So it's a great page to follow if you're actually interested in joining any of the organizations.
And Cyan, will you be advertising the Cultural Greek Invitational via Instagram as well?
Yes, sir. We will. We post it on Instagram.
Great.
Hey, how y'all
Marius?
doing today? My name is Marius Morrison. Again, I'm the chapter president of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, and I'll be talking about the D9. It's the MPHC councils. It was founded in 1930, and it's a collection of 4 fraternities and 3 sororities that are active on ECU. It's actually 5 and 4. Let me look. The range is usually 40 or 30 members. As of right now, none of us own an actual house. The minimum requirements, you need at least a 2.5. We do not accept first semester freshmen or transfer students that do not have at least 12 semester credit hours at East Carolina University. The cost will be around 500 and above, depending on the fraternity. We have we do intake like MGC, and you'll get more information at Meet the Greeks, which will be, I believe, around August 30th. But if you follow our Instagram, Twitter, or anything, you'll get additional information. And that's how you would keep in contact with us right there.
Marius, would you, I know you mentioned that first semester freshmen are not eligible to join, but would you encourage them to attend Meet the Greeks anyway, just to learn about the organizations?
Yes, I encourage anybody just to show up to get additional information. It would not hurt to, again, get additional information. It wouldn't hurt to also follow the people at East Carolina. If you go to the MPHC page on Instagram, even Twitter, you can see the fraternities and you can actually follow them. So I would advise freshmen, if you're interested in joining MPHC, just follow people, see how they act around campus, and the most important thing is just be discreet. Discretion is real important.
Finally, Lindsay?
Lindsay, you're muted.
Okay, I just feel stupid now. But okay, hi. I'm Lindsay Stogner, and I'm our Panhellenic president here at ECU. I always forget to unmute myself. But I was saying that we have 10 chapters here on our campus out of the 26 national Panhellenic sororities. Every single sorority here on our campus does have a house that is available to women who would like to live in the sorority house either 1 or more years whenever they're experiencing college and they're being a part of their sorority. Dues can very much range depending on what sorority you're a part of, and also if you are a new member or if you are an initiated member. If you choose to go through recruitment, you'll actually get a booklet, and it will have, for each sorority, it will have different financial obligations listed out and different things like that. I would say for new members, it can vary between, my guess would be between $800 and $1,000 for your first semester. We also have GPA requirements, just like every other council here. We require that you have a 2.5 to go through recruitment, and for many sororities, that is the requirement that they have in order for you to be an active member or to join. Some sororities, it may be higher. It just depends on their chapter or national bylaws. There are many things that you can gain from the sorority experience here at ECU. They're very similar to what the experiences that you would gain throughout being a part of Greek life. So experiencing sisterhood, being able to be involved in philanthropic services, leadership is a big one, and many others. Our registration for recruitment is actually open right now, and you can go and there will be a link at our Instagram, which is listed right here. And there's so much more information that you can find on our Instagram and other social media platforms. And I would say our Instagram is the most updated and the most informal. You can also, on our Instagram, you'll be able to find different chapter Instagrams as well, because in every picture, the chapter Instagram is linked or tagged in the picture. So you can use social media to see what chapters are like and what our community is like and different things like that. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
So we want to share just a few more things, bits and pieces that we can with you that may be helpful, and then open it up for questions. So when a lot of people ask what's expected of students when they join a fraternity or sorority, and we've aggregated them into the sort of these 6 areas. When you join, it is a commitment. It's a manageable time commitment, but it is a commitment. You are expected to attend and participate in chapter-sponsored events. Again, we talked about academic requirements. You are expected not just to maintain a basic average, but we really challenge you to exceed academically on campus, and the chapters try to provide you with opportunities and support to do that. Each of the chapters is going to expect you to be in good standing with the university and your organization. If you are not in good academic standing with the university, the chapter is going to expect you to take some time off from activities with them. You will be expected to pay your dues. There was some conversation, each of the students talked a little bit about that, and I have a slide coming up, we talk about that, but each of our organizations are self-supporting organizations. They will do fundraisers, but oftentimes those are fundraisers for other charities. So chapters operate primarily off dues paid by their members. They expect you to participate in service and philanthropy events. There's an awful lot of opportunity to engage in social and fun activities. There's work that goes on with being in a fraternity or sorority, and the expectation is there for you to do that. And finally, we expect that you take the opportunity to join an organization and become a better version of yourselves. I like that one. I know Ryan hinted a little bit at that when he talked about never expected to have joined a fraternity, let alone be the chapter president. But I think all of our student panelists would agree that it's a great opportunity to explore and learn and grow and become you come into college as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old freshman. How do you leave college being prepared for quote unquote the real world? We think fraternity and sorority can do a lot for you there. When we talk about cost comparison, these are the most recent sort of general ranges we have. Note that these numbers do not include any cost if your chapter has housing. So if you're going to be living in a chapter house, those numbers aren't included in here, just as we wouldn't include in here you're currently paying to live in a residence hall or an apartment or thing like that. But again, just wanted to give you some general ranges. My important note to everyone is that when you are exploring joining any fraternity and sorority, ask them to provide you comprehensive financial information. Make sure you understand the commitment. Make sure you have any answers to questions you have. If you are talking with family members that are helping support this effort, talk with them about it, but make sure you understand that financial commitment going in. I will say that East Carolina University is very proud of our organizations. We support them. We want to have a healthy, safe fraternity and sorority community. There are a number of organizations that over the last several years were suspended, either by their national organization or by the university, for issues involving alcohol, hazing, endangerment, things of that. And the university and our sponsoring national organizations simply do not have any patience for that. And so we take a pretty hard line on chapters that do intentionally step out of line. So if you see anyone who is advertising to join any of these organizations are not currently recognized, and we would strongly advise you not to affiliate with any students who say they're part of these organizations. Finally, if you want to connect with our office, we are located in the new main campus student center, which I am tremendously excited to get back to my office in the next week and start working from there. We're located on the second floor. When you get back to campus in the fall and the Student Center is reopened, we look forward to you stopping by there. All of our contact information is here. So if you can't get a contact information with a specific chapter or council, please just drop us an email, send us a note through Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. We'd be happy to respond to you all in that way. And with that, we're going to see if we have any questions. Going to stop sharing my screen so you can see our student panelists. Justice, do we have any questions so far?
Not yet.
Okay. So while we're waiting to see if we do get any additional questions, is there any from my student panelists, is there any, do you think about that last piece I said about benefits or expectations, excuse me, on that slide? We talked about the idea of becoming a better version of yourself. Is there anything that you all can speak to about how that's maybe been your experience?
Well, I can speak on behalf of me. When I first joined college, I never see myself joining a sorority. It was just nothing I never see myself like I wanted to do. But when I finally made my decision and I actually joined a sorority, it has definitely helped me academically and with my speaking up. I have a hard time speaking in front of people, but joining the organization definitely, it keeps your grades up and it helps you better yourself by putting yourself up front rather than standing in the back, because you actually have times to where you have to come up and come out of your shell in an organization. It definitely teaches you a leadership role, so, in my experience.
Thanks, Syed.
Okay, I can speak for myself. Prior to coming to college, I was actually in the Army for 6 years. So I was 24 when I first came to ECU. So the first year, I didn't know anything about fraternities and sororities. After my first year at ECU, one of my friends who was in the Navy, she said, recommended for me to try to join one, just because I felt like I had a lot to offer as far as giving community service. When I was in the Army, I had over 500 hours in of community service in under 3 years. So community service was a big part. When I joined, I would say that I'm a firm believer in fraternities and sororities bring out what's already in you, because some people have this misconception of they can make, when you join a fraternity or sorority, it makes you a different person. No, it enhances or should enhance the skills that you already have and help build upon that. So one thing that I will say Phi Beta Sigma did for me is just give me a platform to really start building relationships and understand where everyone's coming from, have a better understanding of people in general. So um, if y'all would like to join any fraternity or sorority, please do your research. It's too easy to reach out also within Greek life and talk to John or get my contact or anybody contact information. Just do your research. If you don't know what to research, ask somebody so we can help and guide you.
Hey, folks, I got a question message to me, sorority size. So let me share one thing about when you ask a question about our Greek community. The answer tends to have multiple. The answer actually has multiple parts. So, so the average chapter size for our 10 Panhellenic sororities is about 150 right now. For our MGC and NPHC sororities, they tend to range in size from about 5 members to 15 members. Occasionally, they will be much larger than that, upwards of 30 to 40. But again, it depends on which aspect of our community you're asking about. So, but those are the averages for our women's organizations right now.
I actually have a question. It says, would you say, is it worth it for an upperclassman to join a Panhellenic sorority?
Yes, I was just about to share the question. But yes, I would say it is worth it. We do have women who are upperclassmen go through recruitment. It is a very amazing experience to be a part of Greek life. And if you've been considering it, I would say at least go through recruitment or whatever the recruitment process is like for whatever council you're interested in. I'm assuming you want to go through Panhellenic recruitment because you said Panhellenic sorority. So there's no harm in going through recruitment because it can really give you an idea of, you know, what do you feel like you could fit in here? And then the benefits of being in a sorority apply no matter when you join. You will get the same benefits that women got as freshmen. Like you'll be able to be a part of philanthropy opportunities and leadership and sisterhood and making bonds and different things like that. So I would say it still is worth it to join as an upperclassman because you still get to experience that and you don't ever want to move on from college and be like, dang it, I really wish I would have at least gone through recruitment and see if it was really something that you wanted to join if you're considering it.
And Lindsay, thank you. I would also add to any of our fraternities and sororities, and we may have not expressed this, but when you join a chapter at ECU, you're a member of that organization. Folks ask me, well, were you in a fraternity in college? My answer to them is I am still in a fraternity today. I'm still an active member of my organization. I volunteer at the national level. And so your experience is not limited to the time you have on ECU's campus. You have the opportunity to be involved and connected for many, many decades to come. Any other questions out there today?
We did get a question from Karen. She asked, this is for the student panelists, how did you pick your organization?
Well, me personally, when I came to ECU, I'm from this little place from Roland, which nobody knows about. So I tell everybody Lumberton, but coming to ECU, being Native American, there's definitely not a lot of Native Americans that come here. So being the small part of that population, I just wanted to get closer with my cultural background and learn more about myself within my culture and just learn. And so that ultimately helped me choose because Sigma Omicron Epsilon Incorporated is the only Native American sorority we have on campus. So that definitely pushed me to want to join the organization that I joined, and it was a great organization. It's great. So
I'll say for me personally, I went to Meet the Greeks when you meet all the fraternities and sororities in D9. And I personally joined off of, I wouldn't say vibe, but what they had to say. You can do as much research as you want, but until you know the members here on campus, you really might be skewed because you might have a great organization, but on campus they might not fit what you're looking for. So Phi Beta Sigma, one thing that stood out to me was the brotherhood aspect. The people that were talking to us and educating us seemed like they really had a close bond, kind of like what I had in the military, and that's one of the things that I was looking for. Not saying that other fraternities didn't, but I didn't feel a strong bond. And also what they were doing on campus was a lot better than I seen. So that's why I joined my fraternity. But it's also want to say this, regardless of council, everybody's inclusive. You can join any council, any fraternity and sorority. Race is not the ultimate factor. And like I said, we're all inclusive for race, sexual orientation, and everything. So I just want to say that.
Thanks, Marius. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I really agree with that, what he just said. Because that is just very important for all of our communities to be inclusive. I would say from like my personal experience of going through Panhellenic recruitment, the way it's structured, you get the very similar to Meet the Greeks, you get the opportunity to meet every single organization that is part of the community, and then you go throughout recruitment, and then you get to have conversations. You get to learn about their values, their charities that they raise money for, different things like that. I would say that I really picked mine based off a sisterhood aspect, how well I felt like I could connect to the women in the sorority that I ended up joining, and how they treated each other, how they supported one another, and different things like that. Um, that's really all I kind of have to say about my personal experience. But I know that Panhellenic sorority recruitment is values based. So during recruitment, they will tell you about a lot of what their chapter values and different things like that.
So if just putting a last request out there, if anyone has any questions, if they want to drop in the chat box, happy to answer them today. Think about that. We'll be hosting sessions on July 2nd, July 9th, and many of our councils are or will be hosting some Instagram or Facebook Live events. I know they are still putting some of those together. Lindsay, does Panhellenic have an Instagram Live planned coming up this week?
Not that I know of this week, but I want to say next week we have one on a calendar that I made.
Okay, so check out their Instagram Live. Any of the other folks, do we have anything scheduled coming this week that folks might be interested in?
IFC is hosting an Instagram Live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, if any of you are, in some other time zone.
Good catch, Ryan, making sure folks might be coming from the West Coast.
I'm sorry. I was going to say MPC is not hosting an Instagram Live, but like I said earlier, if you have any questions, you can add us on the Instagram page, or you can literally just message me personally and I can get you in touch and give you more additional information.
And MGC is personally not hosting one either. I mean, it's kind of still being debated, but yeah, if you have any questions, you can honestly just DM us through the Instagram or the Twitter account that we have, and I would be glad to answer any questions that you have.
Great. And we're likely to be doing some additional sessions prior to students coming back. And once you get to campus, we'll begin promoting the recruitment and intake sessions. We'll be promoting Meet the Greeks and the cultural invitational events and things like that. So it is important to follow the council Instagrams, and as well as the Department of Greek Life social media. We use that as our primary means of communicating about pieces like that. So I don't see any more questions. Justice, are you seeing anything? I don't.
I don't see anything either.
Okay. Well, I want to thank my participants. I want to thank my panelists, for giving up some time this afternoon. They have been working hard all summer to make sure that we're prepared for you all in the fall. I want to thank you all for joining us. As a reminder, the session has been recorded. An archived copy of the recording will be available on the official ECU YouTube channel. So again, I said, hope you'll join us for our next session. Those will be July 2nd at 4 o'clock or July 9th at 6:30. We'll cover a lot with this, but if you have some questions, go ahead and hop back on. Or if you have some friends who are coming to ECU who didn't join us, encourage them to join in. Feel free to contact our office or the Office of Student Transitions if you need some additional information. So thank you all and have a fabulous day.